Hi, in this video we're going to talk about the cost of doing estate planning. And to understand how much estate planning can cost you, we need to understand first your options. So what options you have when you decide to do estate planning. And again, you decide to do estate planning the right way. So again, before I go into the cost, we need to go through the process and your options. So what we usually tell people and clients about options? The first option is to do nothing. So when you say, I'm not gonna do anything, I'm just gonna leave it as it is, I'm not gonna pay any money to any attorney, or I'm not gonna download any from the internet, that is a form of estate planning. You are deciding what's gonna happen to you and to your stuff if you either become mentally incapacitated or you die. So let's talk about these two events again, mental incapacity and death. So when you become mentally incapacitated, that means that you can no longer make decisions about yourself and about your money. Why? Because your mind just doesn't respond anymore. You can make stupid decisions about what you do, and so someone has to take over. Someone has to make decision for you about you personally and your money. So if you do nothing, if you decide not to do anything, and either Alzheimer's or dementia strike, who's going to make decision for you? And the answer is, if you have done nothing, you don't know, because you never express your wishes in writing. So nobody knows about who you prefer to make decision for you. If you are married, you prefer that your spouse make decision for you. If you have kids, you prefer your kids. And if you have 3 kids, amongst the 3, who's going to be the decision maker? Nobody knows that, because you never wrote any document saying that. So what's going to happen? Well, if you are diagnosed with Alzheimer's or dementia, one of your family members is going to hire an attorney, and it's going to have to go through a process called guardianship. Well, guardianship is a very, very invasive and complicated process. Basically, you have to petition, not you, your family has to petition for a determination of incapacity, and the court will appoint you an attorney. And guess what? Now there are 2 attorneys, so double cost. The court also will appoint a committee of 3 doctors that will go see you, interview you, and file a report to the court. So now you have an attorney appointed to you, a committee of 3 doctors, and you have all the filing fees and everything that is going to cost money. And in addition to that, your family hire an attorney for your determination of incapacity. So why is that? Again, because the law doesn't assume that someone will make decision for you. If you didn't state your preference in writing, then the law is not going to assume. So you have to go through this process. So once the court determines that you are incapacitated, the court will appoint a guardian for you. And that can be either your spouse or your kids or whoever the court decides based on your best interest. It could be all of them, it could be everything. So now you were appointed a guardian. So now what? So they have to make decisions about you for everything that needs to be done for you. So in other words, you need to be admitted to a nursing home. They will make that decision. You need to sell your property so we can pay for the nursing home. They have to make that decision. They have to file reports with the court, accountings, inventories, where you are, what therapies, what doctors, what medicine, everything that you're doing needs to be filed to the court every single year until you die. So that's what guardianship is all about. Guardianship easily at the beginning can cost you $20,000. $20,000 is what you're gonna be spending if you go through this process. Now, if this become contested, it can cost more money. It can cost way more money. And every time that you go to the court and you ask for any permission, you have to spend money on the attorneys. So think about not doing anything. Just for this process, you're gonna go through the process of guardianship. So now, what's gonna happen if you die? So if you die, like I told you before, and you haven't done anything, the law through the probate rules will determine how your assets will be split. And there is a formula here. So if you are married, your spouse take 100%. Now, if you are married but you have kids from other marriages, then the formula is different, and so on and so forth. Now, what if you have kids and one of your kids is a special needs person, and if that person receives an inheritance, then you have to go through that special needs, or you have to create what's called a special needs trust. So that creates more complications and more money during the process. Now, that process is called probate. And probate is basically the distribution of the assets upon death done through the courts, using the court rules and the court process and the court and the judge's blessing. So that's what probate is. It's a court process which is supervised by a judge, and you have to follow the rules. There's nothing you can do against the rule. The rules are there and nobody can complain. Again, these rules contain the distribution rules, the payment of claims, the inventory, the creditor's claim, everything needs to be contained in these rules. Now, probate, a lot of people love to say, I want to avoid probate. One of the reasons why is because it's very expensive. Now, the law says that 3% of your estate goes to the attorney. The law also says that 3% of your estate goes to the personal representative or executor. And then you have court costs and things and publications. So we usually tell people that anything between 5 and 7% of the estate is gonna go into cost. So 5 to 7% of your estate may go to cost based on this calculation that I just told you. So this is the cost of doing nothing. Doing nothing, again, think about it. Mental incapacity, what's gonna happen to you if you become mentally incapacitated and you're struck with either Alzheimer's or dementia? You're gonna end up in guardianship. That's what's gonna happen. And guardianship is very expensive, very invasive. $20,000 just to start the process, and every year you need to spend on attorneys and court authorization and things like that. If you die, the rules of distribution of your assets will be determined by the Florida probate rules. And again, those rules are, you can't contest those rules. The rules are for everyone. It doesn't consider your personal situation or the dynamics of the family. Those are the rules and nobody can complain. You will go through a process called probate, and probate costs about 5 to 7% of your estate, and it may take about a year to finish the probate process. So those are the consequences of doing nothing. So think about when you say, I'm not gonna do anything, these are what you are against in terms of cost. Thank you very much. We're gonna go into the next option in the next video.